My name is Asha Abbas, and I'll be talking about Rastafarian religion, which emerged in Jamaica and originated from Ethiopia in Africa. The Rastafari religion developed in the slums of Kingston, Jamaica in 1920s and 30s in an environment of great poverty, depression, racism, and class discrimination. The Rasta message of black pride, freedom from oppression, and the hope to return to Africa, their homeland, was gratefully received by the black people in Jamaica. Rastafari believed that there has been an heavily influence by African tradition and culture. Like this religion came after the high influence from the traditions and culture of Africa. And the Rastafari movement was mostly influenced by the teachings of Marcus Garvey, who was an activist for Back to Africa movement, and he emerged at by 1887 to 1940s. The Rastafari movement first became visible. So the Rastafari movement became visible in Jamaica in 1930s when peaceful communities were founded in Kingston slums. During this time, the Rastafarians developed a distinctive style of hairstyle, languages, arts, and music. This is a little bit of a background of how Rastafarianism started and what was the influence for it to start and the origin of it. Like it was influenced by African traditions and culture, with the black people in Jamaica, and also they had teachings from Marcus Garvey, who was an activist for black people to go back to their home countries in Africa. So how was the Rastafarianism religion connected to the African continent is through the rise of Haile Selassie. He was crowned as a Ethiopian emperor in November 2nd, 1930, who was regarded as who was given titles like the King of the Kings, Lord of the Lords, and the Conqueror Lion of the tribe of Judah. So Emperor Haile Selassie was an Ethiopian Rastafari who was crowned as a king in Ethiopia, and people started worshipping him. And so Jamaican preacher began promoting the ruling authority of Selassie over King George. Jamaica was then a colony of England, like it was a colony of English people, and by the mid 1930s, the Ethiopian emperor, the Haile Selassie, was regarded by the followers as a living embodiment of God. Emperor Selassie in 1948 seemed to embrace the cause of donating 500 acres to the development of Ethiopian community named Shashame. The land of this land was confirmed in 1955, and then the Shashame offered the opportunity for Jamaicans and other black to fulfill their long desired hope to returning to their homeland. So these 500 acres donated in Ethiopia, in that Shashame region, it was basically for influencing the black people in Jamaica who want to come back to Africa as one of their aims and one of their long-term desires. So Selassie donated these acres to enable the people to come back to their home country, Ethiopia, as like Rastafarians in Jamaica. So how did they gain followers and believers? So when Selassie visited Jamaica in April 1966, he fostered an improvement of perceptions among non-believers through, though there were still like bad moments, such as the Rastafarian involvement in 1968 riots over a ban of professor and an activist Walter Rodney. By the early 1970s, it was clear that the movement had become entrenched among the youth of Jamaica. This was understood by the successful by the successful of 1978 president's campaigns of People's National Party leader Michael Manley, who carried a rod of correction gifted to him by the Emperor Selassie and used the Rasta dialect at the rallies. And the Rastafarian cult was originally a messianic movement caused by the belief that the capturing and enslavement of African people who were then shipped to the Caribbean with pure oppression. This belief was that of the people that of the Caribbean had their home taken away from them. So this Rastafarian cult originated from the belief that the people from Africa was taken from their home countries to the Caribbean through the slave trading, and they faced oppression from white people, from the slave traders, and then they were taken unwillingly, it was an involuntary movement from Africa to the Caribbean as slaves. And the Rastafarians were those who took social stand against whites and the middle classes, whom the Rastafarians saw as oppressors. Among their grievances, the Rastafarian believed that by being taken to the Caribbean by slave traders, they had been robbed of their African heritage, which they sought to recapture and celebrate. And this this tells us how much the black Africans, the Africans in the who were taken from Africa to Caribbean, embrace the Africanism and then react to the fact that they were denied their origin and their identity as African people, and as they were taken unwillingly from their continent to other places by slave traders. So this information answers the questions like what kind of product we have to talk about, which is Rastafarianism religion, and the product originated from the cultures and tradition of Africa, and then the people were moved from Africa through slave ships, and it was the after effect of slave trade. And then what is more African about this product is that how the Rastafarians chose to worship and follow Ethiopian ruler Haile Selassie, and accepted the fact that they originated from Africa, and this religion was found in Africa, was found by Africans and the people who want to embrace their identity and embrace their origin and love who they are and stand against the people who are oppressors and the white people who were responsible for taking away their Africanism. And in conclusion, this religion tells us how slavery truly existed, and also people actually wish to go back to their home countries, and also they love to preserve and embrace their cultures, and as true Africans, they believe of that they're still Africans and they need to embrace their traditions and their cultures as African people. So that is the end of the explanation about Africanism.